The power goes out. Within 4 hours, your refrigerator climbs into the danger zone. Within a day, your freezer is leaking cold and everything inside is on a timer. The usual advice is to eat it all fast or watch it spoil, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can keep a freezer and a small fridge running through a week-long blackout or even a month with a setup that costs less than replacing all that spoiled food. Today, I'll show you exactly how to build it, step by step, piece by piece. You've probably heard the trick. Hook an inverter to your car battery, run an extension cord into the house, and fire up the full-size refrigerator for an hour twice a day. In a true break glass emergency, that might save your food for a day or two. But the downsides pile up fast. Your car becomes critical infrastructure. And you're risking the alternator, the battery, and the fuel you may need to evacuate. Idling for hours while powering a heavy load can overheat components or drain the battery if the alternator can't keep up. Then you're stranded with a dead car and spoiling food. A full-size refrigerator is a power hog. A typical modern unit uses 3 to 4 kilowatt hours per day. Running it in bursts still burns gasoline you may not be able to replace. And the temperature swings are a real problem. Food in the freezer partially thaws and refreezes, turning texture to mush. The main compartment spends hours above 40 degrees, the danger zone where bacteria multiply. A generator solves some of this but brings noise, maintenance, and a fuel storage headache. In a prolonged outage, you eventually run out of gas. The core problem is that a full-size fridge is too inefficient to run comfortably on a small solar and battery system. The better approach is to think smaller and smarter. Instead of trying to keep a 25 cubic foot side-by-side cold, you set up a compact chest freezer and a mini fridge that sip power. I'm talking about a 5 cubic foot chest freezer, available at any Home Depot or Lowe's for under $200. Once cold, it consumes about 500 watt-hours per day. A 2.6 cubic foot mini fridge, the dorm room style, uses roughly 350 watt-hours daily. Together, that's about 850 watt-hours over 24 hours, roughly a quarter of what a full-size refrigerator demands. That changes the entire game. Why a chest freezer instead of an upright? Cold air sinks. When you open a chest freezer lid, that heavy cold air stays put. Every time you open an upright door, the cold spills onto your feet. Chest freezers are also generally better insulated and more efficient over time. They're workhorses that often run for 10 to 20 years without complaint. For the mini fridge, look for the most energy-efficient model you can find. The Energy Guide label on any new appliance tells you the estimated yearly kilowatt hours. The lower that number, the better. I call mine the overflow system. In normal life, the chest freezer holds bulk meat and meal prep containers. The mini fridge stores drinks, cheese, condiments, and extra produce. Every single day, they earn their keep by saving grocery money and freeing up space in the main kitchen. When the power cuts out, I simply move the most critical perishables from the big fridge into these already cold compact units. The big fridge gets emptied and propped open while the small system hums along on battery power, maintaining steady, safe temperatures with no fluctuation. Before you buy anything, you need to know exactly how much energy your specific appliances use. The best tool for this is a plug-in electricity monitor, often called a kilowatt meter. It costs about $25 and tells you the real wattage draw and daily consumption of any device you plug into it. Let your freezer and fridge run for a full day through the meter and you'll have precise numbers, not internet estimates. My chest freezer ran at about 500 watt-hours per day, my mini fridge at 350. Your numbers may vary slightly, but they'll be in the same ballpark for similar-sized units. The combined daily load is what you need to supply from batteries and replenish from solar. A single 100 amp-hour lithium iron phosphate battery stores roughly 1,280 watt-hours of usable energy because you can safely drain these batteries to nearly zero without damage. That's enough to run the mini freezer and fridge for a full day with a comfortable margin. If you have a second battery, you create a simple rotation. One powers the cold while the other recharges, and you swap them daily. This way, you never run out of stored power. A quick word on battery chemistry. Old-school lead-acid batteries are cheaper up front but can only be discharged to about 50% without shortening their life. They're heavy, need maintenance, and don't last as many cycles. LIFEPO 4 batteries cost more but deliver nearly double the usable capacity, way less. Last for thousands of cycles and require zero upkeep. For a system that sits in your garage year-round, the extra upfront cost of lithium pays for itself in convenience and longevity. To replenish 850 watt-hours a day, you need enough solar to outpace that demand. A single 100-watt solar panel in full sun produces roughly 500 to 600 watt-hours over the course of a day, less in winter, more in summer. So 2 100-watt panels, positioned well, can typically refill your battery bank on a clear day. If you live somewhere with frequent clouds or short winter days, 3 panels remove all doubt. The panels connect to a charge controller which regulates the voltage and prevents overcharging. There are 2 types of charge controllers, PWM and MPPT. A PWM controller is cheaper and works fine for small systems. But an MPPT controller squeezes about 20 to 30% more power from the same panels, especially on cloudy days or when the panels aren't at an optimal angle. For a few extra bucks, MPPT is worth it. More energy harvested means more certainty that your food stays cold. You can mount the panels on a garage roof, on a ground rack in the backyard, or even on a portable frame you tilt toward the sun each morning. If you can't mount anything permanent, portable folding panels that you set in the driveway or on a balcony during the day work as well. The only rule is that the panels need direct sunlight for as many hours as possible. Even partial shade from a tree branch can cut output dramatically. The battery stores DC power. The appliances plug into AC. You need an inverter to bridge the two. A 600-watt pure sine wave inverter handles the running load of both a mini fridge and freezer with plenty of headroom for the brief surge when a compressor kicks on. Pure sine wave is gentler on motors, though many people have used cheaper modified sine inverters without issue. The critical safety step is fusing. A fuse or circuit breaker between the battery and inverter prevents a short circuit from turning into a fire. The wire gauge between the battery and inverter must be thick enough to handle the amperage, usually 4 AWG or thicker for a 600-watt load. If wiring intimidates you, there's a simpler solution: portable power stations. A portable power station is an all-in-one box that contains the battery, inverter, charge controller, and outlets. You plug the solar panels into one side and your appliances into the other. Brands like Jackery, Bluetti, and EcoFlow make units that sit in a corner silently, requiring no wiring at all. They cost a little more than a DIY component setup, but for many people, the plug-and-play simplicity is worth the premium. You can take the power station outside to charge from panels, then bring it back in to run the fridge overnight. It's the easiest entry point into this world. Once you've assembled your components, test everything for a week in normal conditions. Plug the freezer and fridge into the battery and inverter and leave them running. Monitor the battery level each morning before the sun hits the panels. You'll quickly learn how your system behaves, whether the battery drains to 40% or 20% overnight, and how fast it refills by mid-afternoon. This dry run builds confidence and reveals any weak points before an actual emergency. For maintenance, lithium batteries need almost none, but keep the terminals clean and check connections annually. Solar panels stay efficient if you wipe off dust and bird droppings every few months. The freezer benefits from an occasional defrost cycle to prevent ice buildup, which makes the compressor work harder. A small wireless thermometer placed inside the freezer and fridge with a display in your living area lets you monitor temperatures at a glance and catch any problems early. If you're worried about extended cloudy stretches, a tiny 1,000-watt inverter generator that sips fuel can serve as a backup. Run it for an hour to top off the batteries on a sunless week, then shut it down. You'll use a fraction of the fuel a full-size generator would consume, and your food stays safe. You don't need a garage or a big backyard to do this. Apartment dwellers can use a compact portable power station and a single small chest freezer or a high-efficiency mini fridge. The freezer can live in a corner of the living room or on a balcony if it's covered and protected from rain. Portable solar panels can be set on a balcony railing or even in a south-facing window during the day, though window glass cuts efficiency somewhat. Even with a smaller setup, say a 3.5 cubic foot freezer and a single 100-watt panel, you can keep vital items cold for a long stretch. The key is to run the numbers on your specific appliances and size the system accordingly. Don't let a lack of space stop you. Something is always better than nothing when the grid is down. The ability to keep food cold isn't just about comfort, it's about nutrition and medicine. Insulin must be refrigerated to remain effective. Certain liquid antibiotics lose potency at room temperature within days. If you or a family member depends on refrigerated medications, this setup is a medical necessity. Even common supplements and eye drops last much longer when kept cool. From a dietary standpoint, real meat, dairy, eggs, and fresh produce during a blackout keep your family's protein and vitamin intake from plummeting. Butter, cheese, frozen berries, pre-made soups, and even a small tub of ice cream can be stored. A cold drink on a sweltering day without air conditioning is a massive morale boost. The psychological comfort of eating somewhat normally while the world outside is chaotic reduces stress on children and adults alike. That matters more than we often realize. You don't have to drop $1,000 overnight. Build piece by piece over a few months. Start with the chest freezer, about $170 at any big box store. Use it to buy meat in bulk, and it'll already be saving you money. Next, add a mini fridge for around $130, then a LIFEPO 4 battery or a portable power station for a couple $100. Two 100-watt solar panels can often be found for under $100 each on sale. An inexpensive pure sine wave inverter and a charge controller round out the system. Your total, spread over several months, lands between $800 and $1,000. I.e., compare that to the alternative. One extended outage that spoils a full fridge and freezer can cost you $500 in lost food. Add a generator and enough gasoline to run it for a week, and you've already surpassed the cost of this quiet, renewable setup. And unlike a generator that sits idle for years, your chest freezer and mini fridge work for you every single day, paying down their own cost in food savings and peace of mind. You can be the family that eats real food during the next blackout, not the one scrambling for ice. Start small, add a piece at a time, and build a system that works for you every day, not just when things go wrong. If this video helped, subscribe for more practical prepping. And tell me in the comments, what's the one cold item you'd miss most? I'll see you in the next one.